Hi, I'm Lapo Banjo and welcome to our Democracy Day special. And today I have with me a very interesting person on the sofa. Some of you might remember him from the BBC documentary back in 2010. And I don't want to ruin it for you all, so I'm going to introduce my guest, Vocal Slender. Thank you so much for coming to see us today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. So the last time I saw you was on the documentary that the BBC did back in 2010, about 8 years ago now. So what's life been like since then?
Well, life has been so fair, up and down. We give God the glory because every journey in life, you have to say thank you because we all have one or two things to learn from it. So that's life for me.
So what was, I mean, for people that haven't watched the BBC documentary, what was it all about and what was your story at the time?
Okay, the BBC documentary really showed the resilient spirit of people living in Lagos State. I never got to know about them filming other people around Lagos, but I was just doing my thing at the dump, you know, living a life in Ajegule where I shovel between Ajegule and Ojota weekly, leaving my house in Ajegule, coming to sleep at Ojota dump site where I build a place that I stay.
So you built it yourself?
Yeah, I built it my place. It's better, and at least I know they pay rent. I don't pay rent. I don't pay NEPA bill, and I don't pay any bill. All I just do, I build the place myself, go and work at the dump field, and come back and sleep there. I have a lot of books that I have there that I read. So, and on my time, so I can meditate and sing to myself and sing to my friends. One fateful day, I was just singing, entertaining my friends. You know, the dump is a funny place where every time a lot of visitors come to the dump, we don't really know what they're doing, especially white guys. They will come and take some liquid substance, especially when it's raining. Some will just come, take photos and go. So we are used to white people coming to the dump. So but that day, I was entertaining my friends, singing different lines of song, and my friends, you know, we make beats like this.
Yeah. So
we make beats, and some with plastic, some with bottles, and among the people that I normally entertain, anytime we are not working at the dump, instead of lazing around, and the reason is when the machine, you know, the dump is a funny place. The truck bring the refuse.
So this dump is the one in Ojota, right? The big landfill
the big landfill. So the truck bring the refuse, the caterpillar push the refuse to the pit. So if that caterpillar is faulty, means there's no job for the dump guys, the scavengers, that day until they fix the machine.
So were you a scavenger on the dump?
10 years as a scavenger.
Wow, wow. So what were you doing as a scavenger?
Yeah, as a scavenger, we recycle by hands.
And 10 years is a very, very long time. Why were you there for so long? And what was life like before the dump? How did you end up at the dump?
It's a funny world because I grew up in Ajegule. I never get to know my mom until 2005 that we went to bury my dad. So I grew up in the street of Ajegule. You know, when you are a young boy, you end up seeing yourself living with your sibling, your relative. And you try to ask about your mom, they shut you down that your mom is this, your mom is that, and I only know my dad and my stepmother, and my stepmother doesn't want us around. So we move from one place till we end up in the church. So because my dad was so poor, really, for us to feed, I have to survive. There was one time I was selling water, take water from the well to go and give to some people, the abokis who normally work, so that they can bathe. Some are scavengers, some are just workers. So from there, I get to learn about scavenging. So I start joining the young boys to scavenge in the street of Lagos. So when I was a little bit older, and I felt like, no, I don't need to scavenge in the street anymore, then I've already started doing music as a young boy.
And I remember your really popular song. Is it Obuh? That was the one that was on the BBC documentary.
So I decided to move to Ojota dump site. A friend of mine took me there. The first day I saw that heap of refuse. I was scared. I've not seen such thing. That was the year 2000. I won't forget that year. And my friend talked to me. I can't work here. I can't work. I went back to Ajegule. Was in the studio, in Jawa studio. Then went back to the studio. And you need money to record your music. Nobody will give studio session for free.
Yeah. So what you were doing is you were taking the money that you were making from that distribution chain at the dump. You took that money and went back to the studio. So you were hustling.
Yeah, then I've not started doing going to the studio to do music. I just do music, compose my music, and entertain people. So when I really want to go to the studio and I need money, that was what pushed me to Ojota dump site. So the first money I make at Ojota dump site was 170 naira. I was so happy because I can't. Who will give you 100 naira in Ajigule? You're hungry. You die in hungry, man. Wow. You die hungry. Nobody will give you. You go and look for money yourself. So I was so happy that I can make 170 naira. I calculated it. If I can save 100 naira every day, a month is 3,000. I can book studio session. So I decided to go back there the next day. Going there, finding out going from there to Ajigule every day is eating my transport. I decided to build a place for myself to stay. And it's funny that I work as a scavenger in the dump. And I gather this money to go and meet a producer like Nelson Brand, who produced most of the hits for Plantation Boys and Daddy Shoki.
Wow.
So, and they don't know that I'm coming from a refuse dump, clean up, change up, and I'm so happy. So
I'm really, really excited to hear more on this story. We're going to go on a really quick break, and then when we come back, you're going to tell me more about this.
Okay.
So we're just going to go on a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll be discussing more about Vocal Slender's journey to stardom.
Free extra social data from Etisalat. Extra data. No extra cost. Extra data. No extra cost. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Portable data plans. Extra data. Data bonanza. Extra data. No extra cost. Data bonanza. Extra social data on monthly Data Plus packs.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back to our Democracy Day special. I have with me Vocal Slender on the sofa, and he's been telling me about his history about life on the dump. So Vocal Slender, where we left off, we were speaking about life on the dump and how it's been going. I remember when I was watching that documentary that you had a bit of a dispute, a violent altercation on the dump. What happened next? I've been dying to know. Did you go to court? Did they pay out of court? What happened?
Well, we were in court. We went to court then, and we decided to settle it because we are all people at the dump. We are scavengers at the dump, and the chairman in the dump stepped in. Chief Eriko is late now. So settled it, and as God have it. It says evil and positive things work together, side by side. It's not up to a year after that incident, I traveled to UK and I came back and I gave him 300,000 as I promised. When I make that promise, I never knew I would travel out. Understand? So I pay him. He said he need the money to start up a barbering salon. So I gave him.
And this is the guy that you had
yes,
the fight with?
I have the fight with, so I pay him off and tell him I'm sorry, even if I was unjustly. So all I did was self-defense. So I don't want to go into that because somebody was injured. So we give God the glory, we move on. So the BBC guys who did that documentary, when they find me singing and they ask me, have you booked a studio, have you recorded any song? I said, I've been recording songs. So so they said, when are you working in the studio? I've told them I've already booked a studio session. So I gave them the address of the studio session. They came there, even before me. When they get there, that was the studio where we record Obuh.
Yeah, that was the song.
Yes, that was the song. So since then, they took me serious. When the documentary was aired in the UK, 2010, April 15, the scene changed. So it's like God opened another page.
Absolutely, because I was following that. I was following your story personally right from the beginning until you came to the UK and did big shows and stuff like that.
Everything I was, my dream always was to go to the UK, go to London. I don't call it UK then. Somebody who have not been on any social media, I've lived my life in the dump. So when that documentary was aired, the fame was so much that I was not expecting it. So coming out is like somebody who just came out from prison. The dump is a prison, I'm telling you. Coming out, they took me to UK, which is good, perform everywhere, a lot of things, perform Manchester, different clubs, film, radio, TV, journalists. But others never put money in my pocket. And the feeling was at O2 Arena with Tiny Temper and Eddie Cardi. So I was watching online, seeing Whiskey his show during the weekend at O2 Arena.
And you remembered, you were reminiscing.
I remember myself on that stage. So it's a funny thing that I have to do all this and didn't put money in my pocket. So a lot of things happened that I don't want to really talk about. That a lot of people thought I would go back to the dump. Things were so tough, things were so hard. This is me, who have been to UK 3 times, 4 times, without no money, was on all the newspaper.
Who took you to the UK? Was it the people that did the documentary?
No, it's some Nigerians.
Okay.
Some Nigerians. Even the BBC guys were not happy.
Right.
That was not making money. A lot of things happen, a lot of contracts, things. I don't want to talk about it now until later. So, but when I came back from the UK after the second trip, third trip, I told myself, no need going to the UK if they can't pay you the kind of money you want. So they said I will go back to the dump. And I remember that when I was at the dump, I normally read some great books who changed my life about the positive, the gift of imagination. Because when I was at the dump, my prayer was, I imagine the way I want my life to be. Instead of me getting sad, I just pick some of those books back and start reading. I said, back to square one again, start reading. Read up, man.
How did that make you feel?
I felt bad, but I've always learned to overcome challenges. It's been in me right from childhood because it's normal. It's normal because if I can survive the dump, what about, this is me who have a little fame. I was not on social media when I was at the dump, and this is me on social media. And through the social media, I can reach the world. I can tell the world my story. I start doing things because of a lot of things they gave me in Ajegule. A lot of things they gave me in UK when I was coming back, I gave it out in Ajegule.
Okay.
So if I've sold those things, I would have made some million.
Money.
But I didn't sell it. I just gave it out to people.
You just didn't plan ahead.
So a lot of people start telling me that Vocal Slender, I want to reach out to people at the dump. I'll just be like a bridge to them, to the other guy, Mr. Joseph, that was at the documentary. A lot of people say, we have this thing, we want to give it out in Ajigule. So from there, I said, okay, let me just set up an NGO. And I remember that when I was going to school, I don't have a school bag. I don't have school sander. So I remember such thing. I remember a young girl that I went to visit a friend that was crying that she will not go to school. I asked, why don't you want to go to school? She said, because all her life she has been going to school with polythene bag. That now she's in HSS2 and she cannot stand the shame. So if her mom can't buy her a school bag, she won't go to school. I removed my laptop from my bag. I gave her my bag and took her nylon bag. And then I decided to use the social media to test my popularity on Facebook. So it's one was buy a school bag, back to school. Now start a
So
project.
that's how the NGO
started. Back to school. So, and to my surprise, we start catering for at least 500, 600 children. Give them school bag, books, sandals. So students who cannot afford to put on sandal to school start having sandal. So I remember when I was young, we don't cook on Christmas Day. So it dawned on me that if we can't cook on Christmas Day, then that Nigeria was not as bad as this. So why can't I start something called Christmas in Ajigule? So we have a program called Christmas in Ajigule where we, on the eve before Christmas, we give out fresh food, stuff like rice, chicken, groundnut oil. All you just need to do is just get a stove, buy your kerosene. You can eat Christmas rice and chicken.
So we're going to come back to the rest of this story because I think you're onto something with this, and I'm really interested to hear more about it. So as you can see, we've got Vocal Slender on the sofa today, from essentially rags to riches. So come back and join us for the rest of his story onto how he's gone from the dump to starting his NGO.
It is not yet over. The Get to Lot in Millions promo is still on. 110 people have won up to 65 million naira already, and you can be one of them, as there is 31 million naira still available to be won. You stand a chance to become a millionaire. All you have to do is walk into a Fidelity Bank near you and open an account with 10,000 naira or pay in 10,000 naira to your already existing account. And you stand a chance to win 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million naira in the monthly draw. Grow your account to 50,000 naira and stand a chance to win up to 5 million naira. That's not all. Lots of consolation prizes like refrigerators and generators to be won. Rush now to the Fidelity Bank near you and start saving for a chance to become a millionaire in the Fidelity Get a Lot in Millions promo.
We're Fidelity. We keep our word.
I don't get a lot, God do it.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us unbelievable data packages and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: daily communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes out those two things, voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. That's why Glow is introducing Flexi, the freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. No plan, no hassle, easy.
Now, on every recharge, Glow Flexi automatically gives the freedom to use voice and data as you like. At the best rates in town, no plan, no hassle.
The grandmasters of data, Glow.
Welcome back to our Democracy Day special. I've been chatting today with Vocal Slender, and he has an amazing story that he shared with us. And we left off at your NGOs. What have you been doing with, children living in the ghetto? Because that was what you were telling me earlier. So tell me a bit more about that.
Okay, so thank you. So we started with back to school, then Christmas in Ajigule, so that people in the ghetto can feed on Christmas Day and feel the joy of Christmas, because it's a season of love. Then we decided to take some children off the street when we're in school, partner with some people in UK. That's why Sunday Adelaja, the pastor in Ukraine, who hooked up to me that he and his friends want to support some children, and he trusts me. So with that, we are able to put our 40 children back to school. 40 children, they're in school now. So the basic challenge you are facing is feeding. Understand? But
so these children that you've put back into school, are they orphans? Are they street children?
They're not orphans. They have parents, but mostly the parents cannot afford them going to school.
And what level of education are you?
We are taking them on primary school, straight to secondary school.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very good school, because the head teacher there is committed in teaching them, because his children is going to that school. Children is what to do. Then apart from that, we started Impact Ajigule, where we bring people to come and speak to people. You know, I've attended a lot of seminars, so I find out, okay, people do seminars. Ajigule people don't go to seminars. So we bring people in the streets, speak to these people, we bring the seminars in the streets of Ajigule. And then we start teaching people how to do perfume. The perfume I sprayed in my body was done by people in Ajigule.
Wow.
So I'm even thinking of starting up a perfume company called VIP Perfume.
So are the local government in Ajigule helping you with this? Or is it just solely your initiative?
Just me and a friend of mine called Nesca Global Service, the owner of Nesca Global Service, and some few friends. Nesca Global Service have been supporting me a lot. A lot. She's a lady who saw the documentary in UK and moved to Nigeria. She's doing a little bit quite well. She has been supporting this dream. So we taught the people how to make perfume, how to make liquid soap, and how to make insecticide. Why the insecticide? Because we have a lot of mosquitoes and bedbug in Ajigule. So Operation Kill It Yourself. Do it yourself and use it yourself. So next Impact Ajigule will coming up November. We don't know who sponsor. I hope we have sponsor. We want to teach people how to make detergent soap, powder, and Vaseline. These are things they use every day. So I want to make them know that they can do it themselves.
And these are the youth in Ajigule that you're targeting?
No, we are targeting first for the parents. So the only way to the youth at school, the young girls.
So you're putting the young people into school?
The young ones and the parents, we are empowering them.
Right.
And bring people to speak to them because it's called Impact Ajigule, the power of communication. In Ajigule, we tell stories. So we bring people who have stories to tell and who are successful in their field to come and tell these people their story.
Okay.
So they will be motivated.
So
that when you hear somebody who was staying in Ajigule before, who have stayed in slum or any part of Nigeria and have rise to this level, so you too will plant a seed in your heart so you can dream, you can visualize.
I mean, I think you've got a really, really interesting story, and the way you've started to where you are now is completely admirable. But I really wanted to ask, you know, it is Democracy Day today, and we are approaching the election soon. I'm sure you're aware of the hashtag of not too young to run.
Yes.
And also combined with that, the fact that President Buhari has said that the whole idea of Nigerian youths being lazy. What is your opinion on this? So you can start off with, you know, why is it that, you know, young people should be empowered and why they should get into power? And then we can move on to, are Nigerian youth lazy, are they not? Because you're a good example of
Are we talking about the Democracy Day or the youth or...?
So essentially what I'm asking is that it is Democracy Day today. Okay. So what I want to know is, how do you think that, you know, youth empowerment, that kind of initiatives that you're organising, how is it empowering them, and what is the future of that?
Okay, thank you. Democracy is a government for the people, by the people, and by the people. Understand? Democracy is supposed to be a government that reaches down to the people. But I want to say this. There's something I found out in Nigeria: keep them poor and you rule over them. Which is why the democracy for over 17 years now have not really put food in the table of the poor masses.
And you know that firsthand?
We know firsthand because we meet people who are going through a lot every day. There is something I believe that could have been done during the military era. Don't get it wrong. Democracy, the worst democracy government is better than the best military government. But this is a fact. If the military was here, 1999, I expect democracy to take us here, not to take us backward.
So you think democracy hasn't worked here?
Democracy here is still time to find the street.
So how can we...
Now, how can it work? First, is for us to have leaders, people running for government who have vision for the people.
Would you ever run for government?
Yeah.
And in what way? What field? What?
No, let me start empowering my people. That my future. Because first, I want to set up this tailoring. Well, let me set up my fashion school. After that, we set up musical studio because I still want to go back to music and get a record label. Then we're going to IT. After that, I now can say, okay, it's time for me to get into government. These are the three levels of things. So I want to touch the people first. So democracy, Nigerian democracy, we'll get there. You know, it's a long journey, but we'll get there. The fighting, the quarreling, one day we'll stop. But truth, we need the young youth who have idea and vision to come out and run for position.
What do you think is the problem with Nigerian youth at the moment? Because the president has said that Nigerian youths tend to be lazy.
No.
What do you think? Why do you think he said that, and what is the problem?
I don't know why he said that, but Nigerian youth are not lazy. Nigerian youth are hungry. Nigerian youth are not lazy. You can't tell me somebody who traveled all the way to the desert and facing the desert and still face the Mediterranean Sea is lazy. It takes somebody who is bold to face the Mediterranean Sea. Do you know how many thousands of Nigerian youth who go through that desert? They're not lazy. It's misplaced
priority. You're talking about the migrant crisis now.
Yes, the migrant. It's misplaced priority. They are lazy, so they are hungry. It's somebody who have been starving, and you not tell the person, I have this kind of food to give you. The person doesn't care about the plate. All you need to do, let me just eat. So our youth are hungry.
What advice do you have for Nigerian youth now?
Now, my advice for Nigerian youth first is to pick up the book and start to read. When you read and know that you are a soul, a spark of God, all it takes for you to become great are inside of you. Just imagine and dream. Oh, dream on, beautiful dreamer. Because whatever you dream, and if you walk towards it, it will come to pass. Forget about the how and the when.
And you're a living testimony of that,
yes,
aren't you?
I'm a living testimony because I didn't care about the how it will happen or when it will happen. I'll just keep going. So my advice to Nigerian youth, dream.
Persevere.
Because the dark age of Europe, some Europeans changed that story. It's time for Nigeria, for us to change our story. And the only way for us to change our story is to start thinking of investing first in humanity. I tell you this, Nigeria is over 200 million people, both foreigners living here. So if I decide I make this clothes, my tailor make this clothes in my school, fashion school. If I decide to say, okay, I want to be making this clothes and only Nigerians buy it, I'm a millionaire.
And I know you're doing a lot of NGO initiatives
Yes.
and trying to help people get into school, into kind of vocational training. How could, you know, it's a charitable initiative.
Yeah.
How could people donate? How do you raise your funds?
I raise my phone to friends who support me on Facebook and some friends who really want to give out to people and they don't trust people, but they trust me. They say, I want to do this. So if you want to support me, you can always find me on Instagram, Vocal Slender, Facebook, Vocal Slender. Then
the conversation can happen.
You can start discussing. But I cannot leave this place without telling Nigerian this thing. If the Lebanese, the Chinese, the Indian are running into Nigeria, there is something in Nigeria for us. It's for us to look within us and look for those things those people are looking for that we can't see. We can see it.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So there you have it. You've heard it all from Vocal Slender, an inspiring story. And he's challenging the youth in Nigeria to get on with it. So happy Democracy Day to you all. And thanks for tuning in and watching. Have a good day.